wait, we need social distancing.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. It's Mrs. Ledbetter and Mrs. Perry here live from campus on this beautiful spring morning. We see we have lots of people joining us this morning. This is our first time doing this, so bear with us. But we wanted to start this series of Tuesday telegrams to keep in touch with you all. And we want you to have the opportunity to ask us questions or just say hi. So please feel free to do that. And we'll be
is doing well as we all navigate this time where we're quarantined and having to really deal with a whole new terrain in front of us. And so we are doing well, and that's also why we wanted to start these Tuesday telegrams to just provide this opportunity to connect, to interact with one another, as well as for us to give you updates. Some of those updates we've been sending in email form, but we wanted to continue this weekly telegram to be able to talk through some of the updates that we're doing at school.
So a lot has happened in the past month. It's hard to believe we're in our 4th week of remote learning, remote instruction. Campus, we've been here every day on campus, and it's been so quiet. But the silver lining has been the past couple of days, we've had seniors come for their individual and to know that there is hope that we're going to get through all of this together. So all of you students, we are so proud of you. We are seeing the work that you're doing from early childhood all the way to upper school. We know that it's a lot, and we've been asking for feedback continuously. So parents and students alike, please continue to provide your feedback. This week we did make some adjustments in our remote learning and instruction based on your feedback. And we'd like to share a little bit of that information with you guys this morning to make you all aware in case you didn't see our email yet. But Mrs. Perry, do you want to talk about the upper school update?
Sure. And also with our remote learning, through this instruction, but also keeping in mind, we know that everybody is in a different situation with what's going on. Some people, their lives have been totally disrupted in terms of with students home, parents home, siblings at home, and trying to juggle all that. So we're trying to find the balance between continuing instruction, but not overloading people, because we do recognize that this is a very difficult time for many. In terms of remote learning, what we're doing in upper school, so we'll start with upper school. We've started to streamline our process based on, as Paula mentioned, we've heard from parents, we've heard from students, we sent out a survey and we got some great feedback there. And so some of the changes that are gonna be put in place starting when we return from spring break, excuse me, is every Monday at 8 o'clock in the morning, by 8 o'clock in the morning, teachers will email students and parents with the work that they have for the upcoming week, and it'll be detailed so that it'll be each assignment will be in that email, so that it's one email going out to families on Mondays or by Mondays. Some teachers might send it on Sunday evening if they prefer, and then this way we're going to cut down on the massive group emails that you were receiving, so that the instructional details will come out once on Monday morning or by 8 o'clock Monday morning, and then all remote learning work for upper school is due by Saturday at 5 o'clock p.m. Now, students can certainly turn work in earlier than that, but this way we want to have a consistent approach to when you will receive instructions about your work and then when the work is due. And then, of course, teachers will, if they're working one-on-one with students, there will be emails in that regard. But in terms of the group emails going out, that was one pattern we picked up to try to help where we're not getting bombarded. Your email inboxes aren't going to continue to get bombarded throughout the week. Sessions, video conferencing. So now all of our upper school teachers are going to hold weekly Zoom meetings. These Zoom meeting points, really, it's just a check-in point where at least once a week through the screen and video conferencing, teachers will meet with classes to check in, to find out what's going on, any questions that students have with work. We've also found that some teachers are using video conferencing to continue instructing, and so that may also occur during the weekly Zoom meetings. Again, those are going to start, some of them have already started. Each upper school teacher will have that going on once we come back from spring break. The other streamlining process that we put in place is all teachers are going to use Google applications in order to deliver their instruction. And this is mainly because student Chromebooks that we loaned out, as well as some students already have Chromebooks, it's compatible with Chromebooks and the Google applications. So those are three big streamlining pieces and parts that we are going to put in place starting when we come back from spring break. And do just want to definitely lower school and upper school, and we'll transition to lower school in a moment, but they have been working extremely hard, and we found out about being closed initially for the 2-week period on March 13th, and that was the only forewarning we had. And then teachers were in on Monday the 16th of March, and we were all figuring out how we were going to go moving forward. And I do want to express gratitude for teachers, and I know many parents have been emailing teachers and just thanking them, because our teachers have really jumped in and have had to learn a whole lot without having an integrated learning management system in place. And so we just know that they've been working tirelessly, and we could not be providing this instruction without them. And so for upper school, those are some of the changes taking in place. And then I will let Paula explain what's going on in lower school.
Great. Early childhood families drive through and pick up their belongings. And it was so great to see so many smiling faces. And their work is continuing. Each teacher is continuing to provide information, instructional resources. They're even doing Zoom meetings and flip grids in early childhood. And we love seeing what's going on in those classes. For lower school, our classes in grades 3 through 5 have transitioned or are in the process of transitioning to Google Classroom. Zoom meetings are taking place, and teachers in grades K through 2 are continuing to provide work and informational resources on a 2-week period. When we come back from break, and this information will go out shortly this afternoon, there will be another drop-off day on Monday, April 20th, so that students who need to come and drop off their work in person may do so. We will have bins placed outside of the main office labeled, so it will be a no contact drop off. And then if there are any information or work packets that students need to pick up, that they'll be able to do that as well on that Monday. So we will send you all more information about that in our follow-up to this video this morning. We're also working and looking towards the next couple of weeks and months, because as we all know, spring is very, very busy, and it is full of traditions and events that are a very special part of the BSH community. And so our team is working, and we actually have meetings today to start preparing plans for how we're going to go about to ensuring those traditions take place. It might look a little different than it has in years past, obviously, but we are committed to still take place, but obviously in a little bit modified manner. So stay tuned for information about that coming as well, more than likely after spring break.
And one tradition that is coming up that we do have plans in place for is Step Up Day. And that's for lower school as well as for 5th grade, moving on to 6th grade. And our Step Up Day, we're going to do now virtually. And on April 23rd, and information will go out about this, all of our teachers are going to be recording a flip grid to introduce themselves to the students who are coming into their class next year, and then also to just say hello. And then students can post their own video in reply. So that we'll have a nice virtual Step Up Day video for each of the classes as they transition from kindergarten to first to second, second to third, all the way up into 6th grade. And so that'll be coming April 23rd. Teachers will send out a link to the class that coming to them. I'm going to link to the Flipgrid so that they can record a video, which all of our students so far have been in lower school have been using Flipgrid. So the learning curve shouldn't be too bad, but we'll work with students through that. And then afterwards, we're going to mail certificates home that they have completed their Step Up Day. So we are going to continue with Step Up Day, but we're finding creative virtual ways to do that. Although the experience is not the same as it is in person, we'll try to do what we can to make it special for students.
So we'd love to see if you have any questions. We're seeing a lot of positive comments. I know everyone misses each other. We miss all of you as well, but we can't say enough just how proud we are. We will get through this together. We will persevere, and next year's going to be better than ever because we're going to be stronger. I'm not seeing any questions, but we're still seeing lots of positive comments. We will be sending out a communication this afternoon, just covering some details that we covered in here. Easter break starts on Friday for all of you on Good Friday. Our offices will be closed starting at noon on Thursday and all the way through next week. So Easter break is very much a break for all of you, students, parents, families, and staff. Cherish this time together, take a break, rest, pray, and we miss you all so much.
And during this time of Holy Week, you and your family hopefully are finding ways to connect spiritually, because as we know, that's what's really helping a lot of us get through this time right now, is connecting with God and just turning to Him to help us all through it. This is a very special week as we move into Easter. And so online, we're going to provide some resources in the communication that we send out in ways to connect, as well as we move into Easter, so that although we can't be together and celebrate together in person, we can certainly do so in ways that we can honor Easter and make it as special as possible, because again, that is really what's going to get us through all of this. And so we just hope, as Paula said, everybody has a wonderful Easter. We look forward to coming back after spring break and then moving into the second half of our remote learning, now that these 4 weeks have really been helping us to get everything going and figure out our process. And now we know moving forward how we're going to adjust.
Zoom will be used for all school classes via Zoom, and teachers will be reaching out with those times.
And the schedule will be posted online. We'll email it to parents by April 20th when we return on Monday. There will be the schedule be in place. Actually, it will be in place before that, but we will send a link to all of our families and access that schedule so you can see the classes are having their Zoom meetings. And we have met with teachers and we're coordinating those schedules, so there's no.
Another question is, can upper school clean out lockers at any time? Since they are outdoors, you are welcome to come and clean out your locker. We just ask that you please email us and give us a heads up of when you're coming so that we can make sure we don't have dozens of people here at one time. But you may do that. Just give us advance notice of when you're coming. And for all belongings that aren't in lockers, so for lower school, for your things that are in your classrooms, we're going to be developing a schedule after break as we get further into spring, where families, students can come and pick up their belongings and items.
So we'll just give it another moment or so, just in case if there's any other questions that people want to ask. One thing also did want to share, in talking with parents and parents calling and having discussions about their system, have learned some interesting ways that parents are helping to organize this whole process. We've heard from some parents they're actually using whiteboards at home, and they are listing each week, and especially as we move into when Mondays are going to be, or by 8 a.m. on Monday is going to be the big day when you get all the information, and they're listing everything on the whiteboard, so that, and in a central location for everybody to see what work is coming up, and they cross it out. And so just an interesting way that parents are figuring out how to help with this organization process remotely. Question, do you need anything? As we can also, as you can see too. And so really for us, and for everybody, I just think prayer is the most important thing, and just staying connected in these ways that we can. That's why we wanted to start this Tuesday, and each week we're going to continue on, except for spring break, but coming back from spring. So really the needs right now are just for all of us to hang tight and believe in each other, and just know that we're going to get through this, and pray.
Some teachers are providing assessments. So that is how report cards will work. It's more based on completion, of the work that's being assigned. 8th grade graduation, will that happen? Somehow it will. Our 8th grade graduates are, we know that's a special milestone for them. And so that is one of the several different events and traditions that we'll be discussing on how we can still honor them.
There's a question about if teachers can keep reaching out for students who aren't receiving work, and that's a wonderful question because that was something we just discussed yesterday. We're having weekly meetings with teachers, video conferencing with lower school and upper school, so that we can talk about our process and how things are going. So one of the things we discussed yesterday is this week. In addition, some teachers have been doing this all along, is teachers are going to send out to students an individual email of the work that's missing at this point. So they'll have, if somebody, if I'm going to be emailing a student and list what's missing and what I need for the first 3 weeks that we've been at this. And students have, for the first part of a remote learning, they have until Monday, the 20th of April. There are some students that they've been turning everything in and everything's there, but we do want to try to catch some other students up. They have until Monday, May 20th in order to get credit for work that we've had the first couple weeks. So teachers are going to be sending those emails out. And then come back from spring break, we're going to continue a course of some work that's missing. So that's an excellent question. And yes, parents will be copied. That was something that we know it's a lot of emails for everybody to receive, but we feel we've received a lot of feedback that it's very helpful. Parents feel it's very helpful, although they might not be as in tune to it as, especially as students get into upper grades of upper school. But that the parents are included on the emails is very helpful. So that is going to continue, especially with the by 8 a.m. Monday mornings, the emails that go out. And then if it's touching base about work that's missing. Interestingly, I just had a conversation with a parent this morning, as happened to be in the post office at the same time. And the conversation we had was the fact that, and it's a parent here of a student here in upper school, that now realizing that what this whole situation in the process that students are going through, especially for upper school, is also training for students who want to go to college, and to figure out how to organize all of your work and organize your time in order to get that work in when it's due, all of that. So, there are benefits in spite of, everything that's going on. This remote learning is teaching some skills that help students to stay on top of their time management with the work. So yes, parents will be included on emails.
So one question, are we going to June with this style of learning and teaching? We are maintaining our already scheduled academic year. So the schedule will remain the same. We are continuing with remote learning and instruction for the remainder of the year. Our last day of instruction is May 28th, as it is in our schedule before exams begin. Exams for students are optional. If taking the exam will benefit the student, then we would encourage the student to do that. But we are maintaining the remote learning and instruction for the remainder of the year. Another question, annual fund, how's that doing? Annual fund is actually at about 100 situation right now with several folks in terms of hardships and financial difficulties. So we will not be promoting it as much as we usually do this time of year, but we certainly will appreciate any support that is given to the school through annual. Fortunately, with all of our efforts this year, we are in a very good spot, and I anticipate that will continue. Our goal was 100.
Question about our survey. What we can do is we can put out we're going to send out this week. Before we spring break, we can send out the link to the survey again. So for people who didn't have, it's still accepting responses. So we'll send that link out again. It'll just be the same survey because we found the feedback we received has been very helpful with the questions that we have in there.
So we have a question about, is there a chance to pick up pre-K belongings if a parent missed the drive-through pickup? Yes. Reach out to Mrs. Lipscomb. We have the students' belongings all packaged together, so please reach out to her and she can coordinate with you picking it up at school when it's convenient for you.
And the questions that are being posed are really helpful. And so this is just with the Tuesday. This is why we wanted to do this real time, because we're getting questions and emails, but also wanted to reiterate that teachers, you can reach out to teachers in terms of the questions you have. Some teachers have established office hours that they've communicated to parents and students in order to help them create a schedule. So during those office hours, you can contact them and they'll be readily available. And then our policy is within 24 hours, teachers will return any communication that came their way.
I think there's some technical difficulties going on. We are recording this. And like we said, this is our first time, so bear with us. We're obviously, we're going to learn about this process as we go through it. So we will record it. We are recording it, and it will go out to parents today.
In terms of office hours, yes, teachers, if they've established office hours, not everybody is, but those who are establishing office hours are communicating them to students so they know. That was one question that popped in.